afternoon. Glad you could be with us. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson. Again, Dr. Nab is joining us from the second greatest tour. So we've got Taylor Swift Eras going on right now. I know that's a very popular tour, but some would argue that this is as heavy hitting of a tour.
Like the opening act.
It is. It is. It's a very exciting time. It is the Houston area hosting National Hurricane Awareness Week. He's going to check in with us, let us know all they're talking about down there.
Listen, we're only 1 month away from the start of the Atlantic hurricane season, so we all should be in that mode of thinking about what we're going to do to prepare, that's for sure. Are you prepared, though, for what's going to happen around the Great Lakes Day?
No.
I mean, there's some big snow coming. I mean, isolated spots, but big snow.
People are like, I'm sorry, you said hurricane season's 1 month away, and it's still snowing. It is May 1st.
Look at that.
Your calendar, your app does not deceive you. Yeah, there's snow coming down today, and it will continue into tomorrow for some.
And dreary for us, generally speaking, around the lakes and into the Northeast. So even if you're getting rain, it's like 45 degrees and rainy and not the way you wanted to start May, right? Then you take a look at what happens later in the week with severe weather back in the forecast. A lot of active weather last week, a little bit calmer now. That's good to report, but look out later this week and we'll highlight that for you.
Brief break does not last forever, but this is not what I expect to see in my weather mirror when I look on May 1st. You're like, not even a little sunshine? No, it's got to be gray. It's got to be raining. It's got to be snowing. No, by the way, as Mike said, where you're not getting the snow, you're just getting in on a really cold rain. So still to come, it is snow up towards the Marquette area. We could see well over a foot still. Heavy wet snow coming down, but right there along the lake shore, anticipate between a foot and a foot and a half. Again, over the last 24 hours, we have seen over a foot of snow. Ironwood picking up 14.3 inches, 13 inches in Herman, Michigan, Three Lakes, 11.1. Giles, Wisconsin, you've got 10.5 inches, and in Champion, Michigan, 8.5 inches. So where it's snowing, it's coming down pretty heavily. Winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, they are in effect, especially up here in the UP. So Marquette over to Wakefield, again, more northern county there in the state of Wisconsin under the warning. Otherwise, we've got the advisories, and this will continue through today and into the day tomorrow. So we've got our low spinning, drawing in that colder air, and we've got that snow coming in for the UP right off Lake Superior into northern sections of Wisconsin as well. So the lakes continue to do their thing. As you can see, that northerly flow, bringing that snow right into Marquette. Again, other areas, it's rain for you, but it's not a comfortable rain. In Milwaukee, miserable day for you. Mix of rain and snow around the Green Bay area, but Green Bay, 36 degrees and rain. 37 in Milwaukee, 41 in Chicago with rain. Detroit's at 44 with rain. I mean, these are really terrible numbers. 42 in Erie. So I would argue that for a lot of these areas, I think you're like, you know what, just give me the snow. I'd rather that than the cold rain. There's nothing worse than being wet and cold. It's a terrible combination, but then we'll add the wind for good measure, right? Marquette, 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts this afternoon. Rhinelander gusting over 30 miles an hour. Same for Duluth and Traverse City, Grand Rapids, Chicago, Detroit, Fort Wayne, Mike, all gusting over 30 miles an hour. So now you're wet, you're cold, and it's windy.
We'd love to get a refund.
Yes.
Can we get a refund? Cleveland on the lakefront.
Watch out. Here it comes. Well, it's not really a shelf cloud in this case, but like whatever.
Well, the hockey team there, they are the Lake Erie Monsters. So that was a monster of a storm, it looked like.
There we go. Yeah, see, I was using a little creative license, but we'll go with it. But yeah, this is what we've got headed towards the Cleveland area. So again, you're watching those showers work across sections of Lake Erie, and they are bringing not just rain, but a cold rain. Gusty winds too, so you can see they're moving pretty quickly. Cleveland area, you're stuck with this as we move through the afternoon. So be prepared for more in the way of scattered showers. I can guarantee it's going to be the second you leave the office, right? That's just Murphy's Law. You don't even need a meteorology degree to say that. It's like if you left your umbrella in the car, it's going to rain when you walk out those front doors of your office building. Tomorrow, as Mike pointed out, coldest part of the day, that's when we'll be watching for some snow, even a rain-snow mix for parts of Northeast Ohio. By the later part of the morning and afternoon hours, we switch back over to rain showers. I don't know that it really helps us much because it's still that cold rain, and I know I would prefer just the snow. Like, let's just keep it frozen rather than being drenched and cold. Erie, how's this forecast look? not great. We've got temps in the low to mid 40s through the remainder of today, dropping to 39 overnight. We'll keep the wind around 10 to 15 miles an hour, some higher gusts at times. And again, those temperatures staying in the low 40s with rain. It's not an ideal combo for anything you have to do outside. We got to think of our pets, bring them in. I know they love to be outdoors. Even the cat, you might have to be like, hey, I'm just going to convince you to stay inside. We take you again up towards the Marquette area where the snow is coming down. Areas farther south, those areas seeing a little bit of the rain mixing in. But again, Mike, cold rain, it's 6 in one, half dozen in another. Is that the saying? Yeah.
Yep,
they're both bad.
Yeah. The options are...
Gosh, are you kidding? All of my friends from the Hurricane Center, the Weather Service, from FEMA, and the local Emergency Management Center, it's just been a great time seeing the folks. But the best part of these events are the kids, because they're the ones who are really excited, and they're the ones who are going to learn something and remember things.
Too, right? And I'm not sure what the expiration is on like canned queso that you get at the grocery store now, but I feel like that'll last through a season, won't it?
Are you kidding? I am going to the best Tex-Mex restaurant in the Houston area after this, and I'm getting myself some hot queso and fajitas. I don't go to any town without sampling the best food. But, you know, you got to get here.
And we know we've had a history there of storms. You know, you go back to Harvey. It just seems like it was yesterday that happened. Dr. Neb, thank you. More with Dr. Neb still to come here on Weather Underground, so stick around for that. In the meantime, we know...
It's time to watch that. But coming up on the show, we've got more on the severe threat that's coming this... Well, like you said, it's fun for the whole family. You grab breakfast, I hope you took your mom out for breakfast, and then you bring her to the Hurricane Awareness Tour.
Exactly.
Although something tells me that woman is the most hurricane aware ever, I would like to believe.
Hey, my mom has flood insurance, and she knows where to get her plywood, and she's taking me to get Mexican food tonight. She loves me.
She's got you covered. You've got her covered, and vice versa. Dr. Neb, I love it. I'm really happy. You are having a great time. We're going to check back in with him. I'm really excited to hear from those pilots. Got breezy winds, rain chances increasing, and high elevation snow also continuing. So our temperatures, they're going to be held on the cooler side. We've got 57 today, 59 tomorrow, and again, a little better chance of showers, gustier winds here for the first half of the week. We'll keep the clouds around on Wednesday, get those highs into the lower 60s. As we get towards the second half of the week and especially into the weekend, you see a little bit more sunshine peeking out. Not full sunshine, but definitely a nice mixture of sun and clouds, and also those temperatures staying on the cooler side, comfortable. You know, with San Francisco standards, 60s with sunshine, a lot different than 60s with gustier winds and rain showers. So again, we'll take that. Let's take a peek at what's happening across the rest of the West. It's very similar. Again, depending on where you are, rain or some snow. So we've got this trough across sections of the West. So we're going to be dealing with a stuck low that's going to continue to bring rain shower chances, snow chances, and also those gusty winds. We start with the rain. Most areas an inch or less when it comes to rainfall totals. I think as we get into the Pacific Northwest, that's where we could see some of those totals that exceed an inch. So 1 to 2 inches in some localized spots. But San Francisco, LA, both locations that will see rain out of this system. Then there's the snowy side of the story. How about 12 to 18 inches at the highest peaks? Many areas in that 5 to 8, 8 to 12 inch range. So those areas that had such a big winter, we're just going to keep it going. Here's a look at how the afternoon transpires. So we've got the snow setting up by later this evening. Rain showers later today around dinner time for San Francisco. Even a few showers down towards Los Angeles. But notice with that low still spinning in the area, Tuesday bringing much more in the way of wet weather, and we get that rotation down towards the Los Angeles area, Mike. So tomorrow could be a soggier day.
You know, some of that energy that will...
Take a look ahead at the T-Mobile coast-to-coast forecast. We showed you both coasts off to a soggier start today and a cooler start. Even Chicago, 47 with the wind and the rain. Billings, meanwhile, approaching 80 degrees today and tomorrow. By Wednesday, still looking good across the middle of the country, still dreary in the east and out west. Now, by Friday, the middle of the country, you'll finally begin to see some of the rain showers working in for your area. But what about the all-important weekend, right? That's what we care about. Southeast rain showers, south central as well. Continuing to watch some wet weather in the northwest. We'll keep that going on Sunday. Middle of the country, rain and storms, but next Sunday looking good across the east. Everybody thinks this time of year, they think Oklahoma and Kansas and Texas, but Just goes to show you, you can have them, and you can have significant tornadoes anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. EF3 is a serious tornado. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Weather Underground with Alex Wilson. I'm Mike Bettis. We're going to check in with Dr. Rick Knabb on the Hurricane Awareness Tour this week as we all think about hurricanes and the season beginning 1 month from today.
Yeah, I can't believe it's a month away, and we're at a very weird time because you look at the weather map and you would say, guess the month. And I don't think anybody would guess May.
No.
No.
Why is that? Because it's
one has all the expectations, and then the youngest one's just like a little troublemaker in the middle. You're just like, no one's paying attention to me. Everything's fine. I'm just going to stay the course. That's what they're doing in the middle of the country. Look at the Great Lakes, though. Upper Great Lakes in particular, we have seen some big snow. Ironwood, over 14 inches, over a foot in Herman, Michigan, Three Lakes, Michigan, closing in on a foot. We'll get there because the snow is going to continue. Giles, Wisconsin, over 10 inches, and in Champion, Michigan, 8.5 inches of snow. So you can see it's really limited to the UP of Michigan and extreme northern sections of the state of Wisconsin. Here's a look at the water vapor imagery. So we've got a low here. We've got a low out west. We've got a low in the east, and that is bringing the rain showers to a lot of the east. But where we get that cold enough air working over the lakes, that's where we're able to get that snow piling up. It's a heavy, wet snow, though. So, again, this is going to melt off once those temperatures warm. And it's that stuff that, it falls on the jacket, and now you're just wet, too. So it's not, that light, fluffy, really picturesque snow. It's kind of the slushy stuff as you drive through it. Green Bay, you've seen some snow showers in the area over portions of Lake Michigan. Chicago, it's a cold rain for you. Same for Milwaukee and Green Bay reporting rain showers right now. But look, Fond du Lac, 36. You've got snow showers coming down. Milwaukee, 37 with rain. Green Bay, 36 with rain. Mackinac Island, you're at 36 with rain showers as well. It is a tough day out there. These are pretty brutal conditions for even the winter. But for May 1st, it's a little insult to injury. Snowfall still to come. How about 12 to 18 inches? Could see some locally higher spots. But again, this is a heavy, wet snow. So don't expect to go out there and really play in it. You're going to kind of make one of those sludgy snowballs and get everybody soaked as you're having the snowball fights. Northern parts of the lower Michigan area, you guys could pick up about a half foot of snow as well. Meanwhile, it was heavy rain that brought Knabb. He is an advocate for all things hurricane prep. Obviously was the Hurricane Center director. You are there at NOAA's Hurricane Awareness Tour. This used to be a big part of your duties. Obviously, they've taken this throughout the Caribbean. Now they're here in the U.S. helping to raise awareness for these areas that could be affected.
Yeah, Alex, this has been one of my favorite events.
Get familiar with if you live in an evacuation zone. There's a lot to know. And Mike, it feels like when the storms are coming, we're like, oh my gosh, I need to know so much. Now's the time to get on top of it.
Planning ahead makes it all smoother. When the time comes, then you have to act, that's for sure. And this is why they do the awareness tour. And Dr. Knabb, great that you can introduce us to the people that are making the decisions out there so we can kind of put a name with the face and the orders, right? So that makes it all better for everyone. So everything works together. Dr. Knabb, thank you. More with Dr. Knabb coming up with the awareness tour coming up. Also, a look at the snow that's back in your forecast.
Not thinking about getting in the water at all. Cold, in fact, record low high temperatures in play for today. Look at these forecast highs. Forecast highs for Monday, May 1st, 34 in Marquette, 43 for Green Bay, 47 in Buffalo, in Pittsburgh, in Detroit, in Chicago, and in Indianapolis. The milder temps are there. You just have to head out of the region. We've got 65 in Paducah. So even there, maybe not what we would totally expect. Maybe we'd expect something more in the 70s this time of year. Wouldn't blame you. Again, it's May 1st. Remember, those April showers were supposed to bring May flowers. Today, it's more May showers, and they're cold, 10 to 20 degrees below average today all across the Great Lakes. Into the Northeast, those highs remain about 5 to 10 degrees below average. We finished off the month of April on the cooler side. We're going to keep that going here into the first few days of May. So tomorrow, this is a day where records could fall, and maybe for the wrong reasons. We're talking cold high temperatures, so the coldest the high temperatures ever been on a given date. In Binghamton, 47 is the forecast. The record is 46, so we're going to be close. I think we're going to beat Pittsburgh's record. Record is 47. 43 would easily beat that. Same for Youngstown, Ohio, with a projected high of 41 tomorrow. Charleston, West Virginia, 51 would beat your old record of 54. And in Elkins, West Virginia, I think you'll easily set your record a chilly 42 degrees tomorrow, Mike.
That is not fun, that's for sure. But we know this time of year can get... Appreciate you staying with us. This is Weather Underground. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson. Again, Dr. Knabb will join us in just a moment from Houston. It's Hurricane Awareness Week. We are, just about literally a month away. Exactly. So why is it still snowing?
That's a very good question for sure. Yes, we switched the calendar to May, and you're like, okay, now it's spring.
May flowers. We've been waiting for it.
Let's do this, right? So places like Marquette, Michigan, you're going to get annihilated with snow.
Yeah.
Winter storm warning in effect.
It's wild. Mother Nature went Dikembe Mutombo. We're not doing that so fast because and it's not just snowing. We could see another foot of snow in some of these areas.
It's nuts to think about, isn't it? Okay, look at the left-hand side of your screen. It's a confined area of snow. Admittedly, it's a confined area, but for a lot of you, look at the map as a whole. It's really raw, cloudy, rainy, windy. It's definitely a rough day for you.
And you think, oh, I can deal with some rain around Cleveland, the temperatures are in the 40s and 30s.
Yeah, and winds are gusting 20, 25 miles an hour, right? Now, tomorrow, watch for some of those showers to roll their way into the northeast. You get maybe a little bit of a break in the northeast. But then later in the week, guess what? Severe weather comes back, too.
Yeah. I feel like we're like the lunch lady who has to sell the kids on meatloaf, even though nobody wants the meatloaf. Like, we're trying to make this forecast. Like, we know it's bad. There's no way to really sell it to you. You don't want it.
It's pure Michigan.
It's pure Michigan. Let's take a look at it. You want to see? Because of flooding. So got a lot going on. We got a lot happening at the moment, as the Swifties would say. Here's a look at, or the opposite of what they'd say. Here's a look at what's still to come. I mentioned that we could see over a foot of snow yet ahead. This is a heavy, wet snow. So it's not necessarily, the most fun to be out there in because as it falls or as you're running around in it, you get really wet. So slushy roads, anticipate that. Anticipate the snow to pile up on the hood of the car and then kind of sink down off of it. This is not a beautiful, pristine, Christmas card snow. And it's just going to add more to, again, that fifth snowiest winter on record for a place like Marquette. As Mike said, it's pretty limited in scope where we're actually going to see the snow. Up there into northern sections of the UP, right along Lake Superior, is where most of the foot-plus totals would be limited. But we've already seen some foot-plus totals. How about Ironwood, Michigan, over 14 inches, 13 in Herman, Michigan, Three Lakes, Michigan, just under a foot. Also, northern Wisconsin getting in on some big snows. And we've got one county under the winter storm warning, otherwise winter weather advisories around Rhinelander and portions of the UP as well. So you're either under that winter storm warning or the winter weather advisory. Confined area with that northerly and northeasterly wind moving over Lake Superior. That's where we've got the snow coming down. Other areas, it's rain. How about Milwaukee? How about Chicago? How about Green Bay? You've got rain showers, some snow in the area. But look at the temperatures. Upper 30s, low 40s from Green Bay down to Chicago. And then, Mike, again, you pair that with those winds gusting 30 to 40 plus miles an hour this afternoon. It's a tough day to be outside.
It really is. And
accidentally open up your reverse-facing camera, and you're like, oh, I don't really look like that, do I? Cleveland's like, we don't really look like that. We're much better looking than that. And you guys are. It's just, again, a really tough day here to start the month of May. We've got the passing showers all across Northeast Ohio. Again, cold temperatures, gusty winds. It's just a combo of stuff you don't want, right? But it hasn't just been you. We look at Washington, D.C. over there. We look at Beechwood, Ohio. You're not alone. A lot of spots looking pretty crummy up here in the Northeast. So again, it's a very, very Monday vibe that we're rolling with across this part of the country. Now into tomorrow morning, we switch over briefly to snow or rain-snow mix. Again, colder temperatures of the day. It's going to be morning only. By late morning and afternoon, we're back to rain showers for the entire Cleveland metro area. Then again, could see some rain and snow, some snow sneaking in before we change back over to rain later in the day on Wednesday. So morning hours is when you can see some of that wintry weather make its way into the region, but it'll be replaced by rain. So obviously any of the snow that did come down would be melting, and the snow that we see will be heavy wet. So it's going to be tough to get it to stick. How about Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? It's a pierogi day, so thank goodness for all the yummy food you got out there, because I mean it's one of those days where you're going to eat your feelings. You're going to carb load in a big way. You got to do it to warm up, right? We've got rain showers sticking with us as we move through the late evening and overnight hours. I think we could see some rain, snow edging closer to the area. So you get into some of those elevation spots outside of town. That's where we could see some of that activity into Wednesday morning. Again, rain and snow mixing. Maybe a few areas just seeing some snow. That'll quickly quickly be replaced by rain showers. So again, don't anticipate this to really stick with us. We're not going to be seeing snow-covered roads or really dangerous conditions. Finally, by Thursday afternoon, things begin to lighten up. Detroit, yet another spot, Mike, where we've got that combo. Gusty winds, dreary conditions, including rain showers and chilly temps.
It is just.
Visits there. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of kids, too. Is it more families that are coming out, or are they doing more, what are they, field trips back in the day where, the whole school comes and learns a little bit about hurricane preparedness?
Alex, it has mostly been families coming out.
They can be our inspiration sometimes to make the right calls. Dr. Knapp, thank you. And again, just 1 month away from the beginning of the season. More from Dr. Knapp still to come.
Coming up on Weather Underground, we got much more on the severe threat this week. It's almost like we know what we're doing, right? Wink, wink. You guys slid us a 20. We made it happen. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just so glad. It's a beautiful day. Looks like so much fun. I can't wait to hear from him. We're going to check back in. But yeah, you got to be so proud. It just shows Dr. Knapp knows good people. I don't know why he hangs around with me and Mike, but he knows good people otherwise. All right, Dr. Knapp, we'll see you in a minute. In the cool as well. Not necessarily unusual to be on the cooler side there in San Francisco. And the combination, though, of the rain, the wind, and the cool, going to make it, not so ideal here for the start of the week, especially if you're going to be, doing anything on foot. You're going to be outside. You got to be prepared for those rain showers. And then, again, when it's a little cool, temps in the upper 50s today, the gusty winds will make it feel a little cooler. So today, tomorrow, best chance of rain. By Wednesday, I think we back off on our rain chances. Still cooler and also still cloudy. Finally get to see a little bit more sunshine working out by later in the week. So Thursday, Friday, and the all-important weekend, we've got more opportunities for sunshine. Temperatures don't warm very much, but there's a big difference between upper 50s, low 60s with rain showers and clouds, and upper 50s, low 60s, and sunshine. So it's going to feel a whole lot better. All right, across the rest of the West, we've got to monitor more opportunities for not just rain, but also snow. Higher elevation areas will get more of that snowfall. It's been a big season for you guys. We're going to keep it going. Here's a look at that low water vapor imagery. So we've got a low across the east. We've got a low across the west. Middle of the country, you're sitting high and dry. You're enjoying it. Also feeling the warmth. You can see that ridge built in across sections of the middle of the country. So that's the way we spend most of the week. We're going to stick with this low here. We're going to stick with the other low on the other side of the country. That blocked pattern not really moving much. So anticipate a few days of rain chances. So over the next 7 days, you can see this is how much rain we could see. Most areas looking at an inch or less. However, up there into parts of the Pacific Northwest, northern Idaho, I think we could see a little bit over an inch. So 1 to 2 inch totals there. We're still looking at the snow melt issues. So, a lot to keep an eye on. We're adding snow as well to places like Mammoth Lakes and Three Rivers. So parts of the Sierra, again, could pick up over a foot of snow as we go through the remainder of the week. Mike, even places later today, San Francisco down towards L.A. tonight, could see a few showers.
And we thought we might be done with the wet